Wow, the hood looks great. So if you're just joining in, I went ahead and I clay barred this Equinox. I used a compound with a wool pad designed for a dual action polisher. And then the last step is to apply a 3-in-1 graphene. Now, the compound removed the paint defects and it really brought this Equinox back to life. This is a 20-year-old daily driver. The hood had swirl marks and scratches and oxidation and even some sun fading. The Beast compound with that wool pad took care of all of it. Next up is the Graphene 3-in-1, and what this step will do is it's going to refine the surface, maximizing the gloss, while at the same time depositing protection that'll cause water to bead up and roll off, and also keep the paint from fading. So I had to remove my wool pad and then apply a foam pad. Now, this is a foam polishing pad. After using the compound with the wool pad, a foam pad is less aggressive and it refines the surface, again, and it maximizes the gloss, the color, the clarity, and it lays down some protection at the same time. So with the first step, I was very slow and diligent with my machine. Not a slow speed setting, that is, but I was applying firm downward pressure, making slow overlapping passes. For this step, I can actually speed up my arm movement. I'm not applying as much pressure, and the reason why is because I'm no longer trying to mechanically abrade the paint. I'm just refining it and I'm maximizing the gloss. So take my 3-in-1, shake it up. And I like graphene formulas like this because, number one, they last a long time, and they're also really easy to use, and this product will last about a year. So there's different types of cleaner waxes and all-in-ones in the market. Buy from a reputable company that you trust and stick with it. This one always works well for me. And if you think the hood looks good now, wait until I finish polishing it here with this tool. So I'm going to spread my polish out, and you can do this on a low speed setting, or you can do it with the machine off. Either way is fine. Again, since I'm not trying to mechanically abrade the paint, I'll be at a slower speed, faster arm movement, less pressure. Now, you'll notice I worked on half the hood at a time. Typically, with a conventional dual action polisher that is not gear driven, like this German tool, you can only work on a small section. Well, one of the many advantages of this tool is that when you're doing a step like this, you can work on a much larger area because I'm not trying to mechanically abrade the paint. I'm just polishing it to a high gloss. So, and also if you're watching and you're thinking, oh, gee whiz, you're going over these high body raised panels right here, you know, isn't that going to hurt the surface? Well, with a dual action machine, you don't really have to worry about that. If I was using a rotary polisher going real slow, a rotary polisher spins in a circle, yes, I could cause some damage, but the beauty of a dual action machine is on raised body lines like this, you don't really have to worry about it unless the paint has been hammered on so many times by the other guy that there's not much left. But for 99.9% of applications, go over the raised body edges with no concern whatsoever. So the Graphene 3-in-1, it's really easy to wipe off. Take my microfiber towel, and something I always stress is to inspect your towel prior to wiping it off. So even though it's in your cabinet and maybe you inspected it before you put it away, take a minute and just make sure look with your eyes and then feel with your hands. You'd be surprised how often you feel something in the towel that you did not see with your eyes. So this product wipes off very, very easily, which I especially appreciate because, you know, in my experience, when I start out detailing a car like this, when I'm doing the hood, because I always start with the hood first, is that I'm really energized, I'm really ambitious, I feel really good. Well, after a couple hours, you start to get a little tired. You might get hungry. So if you're using something that's hard to wipe off, well, at first it might not bother you, but a couple hours into it, it really does bother you, and it makes the job more difficult. So I choose products that are really easy to wipe off, and this paint looks absolutely stunning. And at this point, we've compounded it, it's been polished, and now it is sealed with long-lasting graphene protection, and it is super, super slick. So I'm actually going to repeat this process over the rest of the vehicle. However, I actually noticed some deeper defects that I need to address beforehand, including a really deep scratch on the passenger side door or the driver's side door in the back. And also, there's some paint transfer from where the owner ran into some type of pole. And there's a few other areas that are going to need some special attention. But first, I'm going to get my light out, inspect everything, find those areas, and then we'll address those separately. So stay tuned.